you didn't really spike Bert.
I did not.
Yeah.
You did not really spike Bert?
No, we made that up. I thought that was already out.
You did, yeah. You already talked about it,
then
but people don't believe you because you're a known liar.
Wait a minute. That's not true.
Yeah,
No,
but
we just like
This is some like Santa shit to me.
because dude, I bought it.
Wait, it wasn't
yeah.
real?
You hung out and you're telling me how you spiked him. You lied to me.
listen, buddy. Once I get a troll going, I lose myself
You
in it.
played it so all the way into our friendship, and I don't give a either way.
Yeah.
So you're just practicing lying on me.
No, I believe it. I'd pass a detector.
Ari Shaffir just went on Pink Trip's podcast and is now claiming he never dosed Bert. The same story he's been telling and laughing about for years is now suddenly fake. If you don't know who Pink Trip is, he built his audience by chopping up podcast clips to make conversations way funnier or way more dramatic than they actually were.
I love hurting people. It's just part of our DNA. To kill one another is just DNA, who we are. I will knock you out.
Oh, shit. This is about to happen.
Can I tell you something? I'm Mike Tyson.
He was huge about 4 to 6 years ago, but lately that format isn't pulling in the same numbers. So he's pivoted into comedy commentary and even started his own podcast, which Ari just appeared on. And as you saw in that first clip, Ari is straight up saying the entire thing was made up. We'll get back to that podcast in just a second, but first let's take a look at all the times Bert, and everyone close to him, including his wife Leanne, talked about it like it was 100% real, and you can decide for yourself if the story is fake.
I just think anybody who comes into someone's house with their kids there and drugs an adult in charge there's something wrong with that.
What do you mean? Totally normal.
The story everyone was told was Ari pulls up to Bert's house to do a podcast. He shakes Bert's daughter's hand and says hello to Leanne, all smiles like a normal, respectable house guest. Then, like a true gentleman, he fixes Bert a drink and casually drops in a little something special without Bert having a clue.
I mean, Bert could have had a heart attack. He could have had a stroke. That was pure Molly, and he's on blood pressure medication. He's 47 years old. And imagine if that had happened with Isla home, you know?
Right.
Leanne starts getting suspicious, wondering why the podcast is taking so long, and also because Bert is acting weird, telling her and their daughter to stay inside. She even invites Ari to stay for dinner, but something feels off when Ari leaves without saying goodbye. What she doesn't know is that Bert had already told Ari, don't say anything to my wife or daughter, just go. So Ari dips and Bert tells his wife what happened.
His pupils are like pinheads.
Bert tells Leanne he just needed her to be cool, no freaking out, no making a scene. He's got to hit the road for a show, and the last thing he wants is for his daughter to see him like this. Which honestly, I don't know why. If anything, I'd assume a dosed up Bert is probably more bearable to be around. But Leanne does what she has to do and gets him out of the house. At this point, it really doesn't seem like Ari and Bert just made up the story. I mean, Ari's prank completely torched his relationship with Bert's wife. Why would you fake a story that makes you look that bad?
Is there anything Ari can do to repair your relationship?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
You won't accept an apology?
Nope. Oh,
Okay.
I've gotten an apology from him before. It was not an apology, but he thinks it is.
This wasn't even the first time Ari had pissed off Leanne so bad she didn't want to forgive him. Before the whole dosing incident, Ari cracked a joke about Bert's daughter's teeth on an Instagram post. Not exactly top-tier roasting material, but it was enough for Leanne to tell Bert it was out of line. Bert made Ari call Leanne to apologize, but Ari's version of an apology is, you know it's a joke, right? Which is not an apology. Even in comedy, a dude's kid should be off limits. Still, Leanne let that one slide. But the dosing was different. That was something she genuinely thought she'd never be able to get past.
This drugging Bert, I don't know how to fix that. And if Bert decides to continue being friends with him, that's his decision. But I sure as hell don't understand it.
You're tapped out.
I don't ever want... He definitely can't come in my house again.
This whole sit down with Christina P. and Leanne only happened because Bert, Ari, Tom, and Joe had just talked about it a few days earlier on Sober October. That's when the story really blew up and hit the masses. This was the moment where we got to hear it straight from the people involved.
You slipped him on?
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? How much?
It's enough.
Interesting. How did you do it? Where was this?
It was at his house.
It was
at
at
his
my house in
podcast.
front of my children.
Oh.
We had a
Was
shot
this in a
before.
safe
We had a
place?
shot before we started. I had to empty out a capsule. put it into a shot.
Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
At the time, Bert seemed genuinely upset, like really playing up the I can't believe this happened to me angle. Fast forward 4 years, and knowing Bert the way we do now, it's obvious he's just thrilled to be the center of attention. He's milking it, looking at Joe like, can you believe Ari did this to me? Eating up every second of it. Joe, of course, thinks it's hilarious. He's always gonna have Ari's back. Tom, not so much. Back then, he was still in the phase where he found Bert bearable. So he actually defends him, like it was some life or death situation. But let's be real. Bert does way worse to his own body daily. If anything, Ari just saved him from an extra 2,000 calories that night.
Yeah, it was great.
No, it wasn't.
It was great.
It was not.
You're making me go on this stupid shit.
Yeah, Joe, what kind of sociopath are we friends with? He did it to punish me.
Because I have to be sober. You don't give up Molly. You're only giving up alcohol.
I don't do Molly because I just got back from the doctor and he said, hey, it's time to get healthy.
I agree.
And so, yeah.
I agree.
You don't think it's crazy that you would do that?
A bit. Yeah,
you're not doing it to like your college roommate. You're doing Did
you
even
get the Molly tested? Like, where are you buying this Molly?
No. I've done it from my favorite Molly dealer. It's
and you
great
just
Molly.
spiked
it's
his
great.
drink?
Yeah.
High blood pressure, high cholesterol.
Emptied out 3 guys, you're all talking
I would
about
want
what
to
ifs.
kill you.
Yeah,
I would want to kill
He
you.
wanted to for about 10 minutes until the Molly kicked in, and then he was fine. How fun was it? Let's talk about the positives.
It's Molly. I had to fly that night.
This is one of those moments where I actually start to think the whole thing might be made up. Bert claims he had just come back from the doctor who told him he needed to get healthy. But come on, it's been 5 years since this happened, and Bert's done absolutely nothing to improve his health. If anything, he's worse. His face embarrasses me when he looks at Joe and says, I have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Like they're in the principal's office and Bert has to pretend like Ari did a bad. It's like, quit playing the victim. You're an addict. You know you had a good time. Ari probably did you a favor giving your liver a small break from alcohol for one night. Oh, but wait, Bert decided to drink on it because people who are afraid because they got dosed decide to smother it with Tito's.
I was on a plane going like, when's this going to stop? Because I didn't know that orange juice kicks it back up. So I'm drinking
orange juice kicks it back
vitamins
up?
C.
I don't know.
You drink a lot of orange juice generally?
On the plane, I'm drinking, trying to get hydrated because I'm a Molly. And so I'm drinking Tito's and orange juice.
It's honestly insane that I'm even considering taking Ari's side on dosing someone. Maybe it's just that Tom and Bert have sunk so low in the past few years that they've somehow managed to make Ari look like a reasonable person. But man, they both just seem like complete tools. The only reason they are making it seem like a big deal is because of Leanne, because there's no way Bert is upset. That said, after looking back on all of this, I have to admit, there is no way this was faked for a storyline or just so Bert could squeeze out more material beyond the machine story. Bert went on multiple podcasts confirming that Leanne still absolutely despises Ari. And if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Leanne is not in on the bit.
She hates him in a way that not many people. She really hates him, like really hates him. And that was what bothered me about when he mollied me, was I was like, it's so funny. He wants me to release the podcast. I will never release a podcast. It does not make him look, it not only does it not make him look good, first of all, it's proof that he committed a crime. That's number one. And number two, it's just, he's like, it's funny. And I go, it's not, because you see in my eyes a person who thinks, I might die. And you can see that. And I see it clearly. But you also see like me realizing Ari just up our friendship. And I was like, that's what bothered me the most out of it is when it happened, I go, you just made it so my kids will hate you. And now my wife will hate you, and you can never come to my house, and I can never go on vacation with you because my wife will always go, don't go. I don't want you going.
Yeah. One of the best takes on this whole situation comes from Theo Vaughn. This old clip from King and the Sting perfectly encapsulates why Theo is now one of the biggest podcasters on the planet, and why Bappa is just Bappa. Theo tells it like it is, and Bappa just parrots what he heard Bert and Leanne say on their podcast without any original thought.
I think that Bert likes any hype that he can get. I think he's okay with it in the end. I think it was a little risque in the beginning.
My problem is doing it around his family. If it was like on the road or something, that's whatever, because they're so close, he did it, that's whatever. The problem is there's no consequence. Like if Ari did that to me, you're going to get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Especially around my kids. There's going to be repercussions. That's the problem. He knows Bert's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
You do that to Rogan, there's going to be repercussions.
Yeah.
You do that to Tom, there's probably going to be repercussions. But Bert's so fun and playful that Bert,
And Bert does.
They're close, though. So it's like, they're you would never do that to me.
Right. Yeah,
Ever.
that would be crazy.
You would never do that to me. But again, I don't know the relationship well enough. But you and me are close. You're one of my best friends. If you, Brian, or Rogan did that to me, dude, I'd have to put my hands on you.
Yeah.
Especially in front of my kids.
I would do it just to get
kids.
beat. I'd do it just to get beat, probably.
Oh, there's easier ways to go about that, bro.
Just to feel something, you know?
Theo is spot on. Bert craves any attention he can get. If this really bothered him, if he really loved Ari and was worried about exposing him for something so illegal, then he never would have brought it up. He would have let it die in the backyard with that podcast. But instead, he commercialized it. He took what should have been a serious moment and turned it into content. Podcast clips, tour material, headline bait. Bert milked it for everything it was worth. Because at the end of the day, as long as the conversation is about him, it really doesn't matter if it's good or bad.
How sick of talking about that are you?
No, I just started talking about it on stage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
I just started
it's
talking about it.
okay.
I don't. No one ever really brings it up.
Really?
Yeah.
Bert is a pathological liar. The whole no one ever brings it up thing is a total lie. This was one of the biggest Bert stories, second only to The Machine. It got talked about everywhere. It's actually Joke World's third ever video, and that started his ascension to where he is now. But honestly, I can kind of buy what Ari is saying now, that he never actually dosed him. Maybe he just slipped him some BC powder, and the real joke is that Bert placeboed himself into thinking he was tripping. It wouldn't be the first time Bert's brain convinced him of something ridiculous. Regardless, up until 10 days ago when Ari dropped this bombshell on Pink Trip's podcast, everyone thought this was real. So with that in mind, let's roll the full clip of Ari now claiming it was all made up.
You didn't really spike Bert.
I did not.
Yeah.
You did not really spike
No, we
Bert?
made that up. I thought that was already out.
You did, yeah. You already talked about it.
But
But
then
people don't believe you because you're a known liar.
Wait a minute. That's not true.
Yeah,
No,
but-
we just like
This is some like Santa shit to me.
Because dude, I bought it.
Wait, it wasn't
yeah.
real?
You hung out and you're telling me how you spiked him. You lied to me?
listen, buddy. Once I get a troll going, I lose myself
You
in it.
played it so all the way into our friendship, and I don't give a either way.
Yeah.
So you're just practicing lying on me.
No, I believe it. I'd pass a detector. I'm believing it when I'm saying it.
Oh my God, you're like that's kind of like Renazizi.
Yeah, I'm a sociopath.
That's the way you have to do it.
Yeah,
I just
I
like
get
get
you,
into
I
it.
get
Yeah,
you.
we talked about it, and I was talking about how much he'd love it. And then he was like, and then we just like, we plotted that out. We recorded the podcast. We're playing it. We're like not. He goes, we just won't put it out. And that was a genius move on Bert's part. Because then people are like, release the pod.
Even know what to think at this point. Ari openly admits he's a liar, but at the same time, I actually find him to be one of the most honest comedians out there, at least when it comes to telling the truth as he sees it. But then he goes and calls Bert a genius, and just like that, I'm back on the fence thinking, nope, totally made up, because there's no way a guy who tells the same story for 20 years is some kind of mastermind.
Yeah.
There's no pod. It's just us talking about it.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, was Leanne not in on the bit? Was she not? Did she not know?
It's a while ago, so I'm trying to remember if it was like he just told her and then she got mad and then like let it go. No way. I think she must have been in on it.
I got to give credit to Bert too, because Bert sold the fuck out of it as well.
He's a good actor.
I mean, he seemed really upset with Ari about it, and then he kept bringing it up, wouldn't let it go.
Wait, why did you finally admit that it was a bit? I don't even remember. I just remember you talking about it.
I don't remember. It came up and it was like, I don't remember.
Yeah, now I think Ari was just trolling this podcast.
You